Hey, what's going on, man? This is Will Z2. With Skybox Conversations, man. The Hoop Pod, where we talk about all things hoops, but definitely highlighting my favorite two teams, the Los Angeles Lakers, and of course on the college level, it's the Arkansas Razorbacks. And it's them damn Razorbacks today, man. I had to turn that damn game off, or they pissed me off, man, because it's. I have to start. Let me start the show by saying this: you can't blame this season all on Coach Cal. I think there were times where he got out coached, right? His strategy made it work. What he came into the game to do, didn't always agree maybe with his lineups and things of that nature. Maybe he didn't change things up enough, right? Maybe he got some outdated things that he does here and there. True enough, right? But when you really look at the game, you cannot blame Cal for a lot of the things that went wrong, especially today against a bottom tier of the SEC team, such as the South Carolina Gamecocks. No disrespect to them, because I actually think the coach over there is a great coach, right? You know, when he had Michie Johnson and those dudes last year, I mean, I think they were like in the top of the SEC with Musselman there and gave us problems actually. But it's like, and you got Boyles, I think is his name. He gave us 35 today. I think he should be a NBA, lottery pick, right? Because he was hooping and he's been hooping all season. It's just his team isn't very good. But coming on the road, getting a game that you need, not so much because they're ranked so high or it's going to do something because they're a quad one win or anything like that, but because it just improves your chances of for sure getting in the tournament. And you go in and you drop a deuce egg. I mean, you get your ass beat essentially. But don't let that 19-point loss fool you. It was much worse than that at point. I mean, I think it was a point in the game where the Razorbacks were like shooting 12.5%. Right. So that's what I mean when I say that's not Coach Cal's fault. I mean, I want to pull it up as long as this thing don't get to acting crazy. I'm not lying. Look at some of these scores. I mean, what he not the one shooting the ball. He not going 2 for 8, 2 for 6, 0 for 4, 3 for 9, 2 for 10, 3 for 7, 3 for 8. That's not him doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the team. And you can't say Coach Cal is the reason for that, for going 12.5%. Because one thing I'm learning as me as a coach in doing being in that role as of late, I can draw up the best play in the world. I can have the best strategy in the world. I can have one of the best brains in the world when it comes to coaching. But if I don't have the personnel, if we can't execute what we're talking about, if we can't defend at a high level and we can't make shots. Because the thing about it is that in basketball, and Brian been saying this lately about the Lakers, which is something that I think is so true. You might not have big nights where you just going crazy, right? But one thing you can always be able to hang your hat on is the defensive end. And we couldn't stop a goddamn cold tonight or today rather, right? Just nothing we could do with Boyles inside. I mean, he was serving us left and right. I mean, they was doing simple stuff, simple isolating one side of the floor, pick and roll, get to he finishing on the other side of the rim. Then another time he hit him with an ISO. Man, they was just getting whatever they wanted. Is my point, and that ain't Cal's fault. You can throw all the coverages and switch all the defenses and be creative with the defenses and do all of the shit you want to do. But if you can't make shots, it doesn't matter. Illinois' game earlier this year when we got blew out the water. If you get down 20-3 or whatever it was 20-7 or whatever the fuck it was, and we couldn't hit the side of a barn. What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? Right? Or John L. Davis is supposed to be one of your go-to guys. He can give you 7 points. DJ Wagner is your starting point guard and plays 31 minutes and gives you 8 points on 2 for 10 shooting with 4 turnovers. You got 13. Like we shot 28% for the game. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not on Cal. That's not on Cal. And this team is so confusing to me when it comes to the Razorbacks because it's the same team essentially without the arrow that beat Texas, which is a pretty good team in my eyes. Right? They're not great, but they're better than South Carolina. And you beat them. And then you go and lose to, and not even just lose to them, because I would even understand losing a close game to them on the road. but you get your ass beat. And I understand not even making shots, but you can't guard nobody, right? Yo, you only have two people in double figures, and two of them are essentially role people. Carter Knox has been starting lately, but he's still a role player, right? A dude is been getting some minutes, played 26 minutes, but he's a role player off the bench. And he did. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You need more. Trevor Brazil. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think ever since Trevor Brazil hurt his leg, he just hasn't been the same person. I don't know if it's more so a fear thing. I don't know if it's more so the way Cal is utilizing him. Because if you remember, Trevor Brazil used to play above the rim. He could shoot the three, especially the corner three, and coming at the hot at the top of the key. He could shoot that consistently. And it's like none of those things are showing. The only time I feel like he showed flashes of Brazil with Musselman at his peak was in the game against Texas, right? When he had a couple oops and some great defensive rebounding, there's some great rebounding and some great defensive stops. But like he was pinning niggas shit off the wall. Like he was doing all of the things. And it's just like now that's just not who he is, man. And again, I'm not sure if it's a combination of things, of the way Cal is utilizing him and what he's not allowing him to do in the games anymore, or it's more of a confidence thing. And Cal is not utilizing him in that way because he sees that he doesn't have the confidence, right? So I'm not sure, man. But it's this team is confusing me. And again, you can't say it's Coach Cal's fault for this particular loss today against South Carolina, man, and losing the way you lost. Yeah, maybe Cal should have tried some different things when it comes to the coverages on Boyles, but I also think it was a combination of Arkansas coming out and not taking this South Carolina team serious, feeling yourself because you beat Missouri, which is a damn good team, and you beat Texas and all of those things, which is great. And we were pushing in the right direction. But to go from that to what you gave today is like night and day, man. It's like night and day, and it's so confusing to me. And I just can't keep up at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like I just can't keep up. Um, but that's my main point of this video is that I don't think that's Coach Cal's fault. I mean, I only can do so much for you, right? As a coach, like at the end of the day, you got to go make the shots. You got to execute the plays. You have to take pride in the defense. You have to do these things. Now, it is my job to put you in position to be successful. It is my job to coach you up and tell you where you did wrong or what you could do better or what you could do differently. It is my job to see the game differently than you because you're in the game and I'm seeing it from a bird's eye view, so to speak. I get that. But when I give you the instruction, if you can't physically complete the task, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. You see what I'm saying? And I think that is like my biggest problem with them is like you don't know what version of this Arkansas team you're gonna get night to night. You don't know if it's gonna be the one where Big Z gonna come out and give you 30, or Thiero being out had definitely hurt us. Can't deny that, right? You don't know if it's gonna be Billy Richmond coming off the bench and being big or non-existent. You don't know. You don't know if DJ Wagner is gonna come out and be aggressive and get to the rim and knock down his free throws, or he only gonna give you 8 points with 4 turnovers. Like you just don't know. And that uncertainty, again, it confuses you because you're talking about trying to even get to the tournament. What if we get to the tournament and this version of that team shows up, right? Against a lesser opponent or even against a really good opponent because we're more than likely going to be on the lower side of the seeding. So we may end up getting a pretty good team, right? You may end up playing like I'm not sure who that could end up being, but like you may end up if we end up being like a 12 seed, right? 10 seed, 11 seed, something in that range. I wouldn't be surprised. 13 seed. You're playing a 4 seed, you're playing a 3 seed, you're playing a 5 seed, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. Those are going to be some of the better teams in the country. What do we look like? And the frustrating thing is you can beat one of those teams that we potentially could play if we were to make it still to the tournament. Because I'm not even sure what this loss is going to do for us. But I'll be honest, I would go into that game wondering, can we beat so and so, so and so? Yeah, we can. But are we going to show up? Bottom line, man, this loss today with South Carolina, that's not on him at all. Um, it's not Coach Cal's fault that Arkansas sucks, right? It's not, or they suck today, right? It's not his fault. Um, I also think about something where the college is now kind of like the European style. Somebody made a great point the other day and talked about that, where it was like it's European style. And I think it was Jay Billis, and saying how you essentially have a new team every single year, and you're trying to create this cohesiveness and togetherness and fluidity on the fly, because these are more than likely going to be dudes that have never played together. It's not teams staying together for 3 and 4 years anymore, right? Every single year you have to go retool. And even Patino said it on another level, which shows you the landscape of college basketball. Dudes aren't recruiting high school players like that anymore. Recruiters aren't looking for that anymore, right? Most teams got a few freshmen, if that, and you're going to find upperclassmen, transfer portal, right? Like that's what you're looking for. It's dude like Baker Mazar is 25 years old on Auburn. Why would we go look for 18-year-old in this man? It's a grown man. This is almost like a version of the pros now, because niggas is grown men with families now getting played to play college ball. So it's just a different landscape, man. It's different. It's much, much different. And so I just think at times the people that we've been expecting to step up for Arkansas hasn't stepped up. The Jarnell Davises of the world has been inconsistent. DJ Wagner has been inconsistent. Unfortunate what happened to Boogie Flan. Thiero is, in and out of the lineup and dealing with injuries. He's been sick a couple times this year. A little weird stuff like that. Adu has been a shell of himself from Tennessee. Or maybe Tennessee's system was so good we didn't realize that he not that like that for real. I don't know. But I feel like he shows us glimpses of being really good and doing some good things. But overall, he's underperformed. That's not on him. And it's almost like when you got a completely new team like that, you're taking a gamble because you don't know what's going to actually look like when you put it out on the floor against other competition. You don't know. You don't know. And you don't know who a person really is until about 15, 20 games in. And by then it's too fucking late because you only got a few left. And all those games left are super meaningful. Which is why I get why a coach like Mark Post from Kentucky said, hey, we need to make the season longer. We need to play 40 games. Because um it's, again, you play 20 games, you start to see who you are, what your weaknesses are, and what you struggle with, and what players' weaknesses and strengths are, and you start to see all of these different things. But by then, again, you only got 10, 12 games left, and all of them are more than likely going to be super, super meaningful games. When we talk about seeding and making the tournament, right? And in our particular situation, are we on the bubble or are we, last four in, last four buys? Like all of that matters. I think we were like the last four buys as of right now, based off the 2 wins we came off of. But this, I don't know where it's going to put us, man. And you only got 2 or 3 more games left before the tournament starts. So a lot to consider, man. A lot to think about. A lot we got to pay attention to in the coming weeks. Not gonna get any easier. Got a very scrappy Vanderbilt team coming, or that we got to go see, and then we got Mississippi State, who is a middle of the pack, pretty damn good SEC team as well. With a stud over there in Josh Hubbard. So just a lot to think about, man. A lot to consider, but I just can't blame today's loss on Coach Cal. That's not his fault, man. He didn't go out there and shoot 12.5%. In the game, man, and 28% for the game and 14 points and a half. He didn't do that. So I'm gonna leave it right there, man, before I get mad all over again. I love y'all so much, man. The SEC is crazy. That Tennessee game in Alabama was absolutely insane. Auburn is I see them winning a championship. SEC is crazy within itself, man. So yeah, you gotta give Cal some grace. I don't think that's on him. I love y'all, man. Be sure to like, subscribe. Peace.